Today I just want to talk about my sort of feelings concerning the newest installment of the James Bond franchise, Spectre, which I saw today. I think overall, to sum it up into one word, I think it's just serviceable. It's a very serviceable, average Bond movie that ticks all the boxes that you would expect from a Bond movie. However, it's still directed by Sam Mendes, so because he's still directing it, it still looks beautiful for the majority, although it doesn't have the same director of photography that Skyfall did. Yeah, especially in terms of the first scene, which is really what the major differentiation point, which I think is sort of not gimmicky as such, but is really only there to differentiate it or to make it viscerally appealing at the gate. As for the plot of Spectre, I suppose, I think one of the major problems with the film is that it is very long. I think because of that, some of the pacing is extremely off. I don't think that it was used to the potential that it could have been. It doesn't have enough heart to pull you through those sort of slower scenes. And spoilers, I suppose, if you don't want to see spoilers. Skip to that timestamp. He finds out that the head of the corporation is actually his adopted step-brother, played by Christoph Waltz, who I think is again serviceable. Just another villain, really. I think he's alright. Maybe not to the potential that he's been used in stuff like Inglourious Basterds. I don't think his motivations are clear enough. I think that's another problem. It just sort of seems to be half revenge for James to take away the love of his father, and half just sort of general the world needs to be shook up sort of thing. And I think another thing that I had a problem with was that he says that all the previous films, all of those plots were enacted by him. He was watching all the time, and he was controlling people to do what they did in those three films. And I think, one, that illegitimizes the sort of actions of the three villains, Le Chiffre, Green and Silver. And two, sort of just makes those films sort of useless because they seem to be not of their own. I guess a problem, an issue that this raises is that do we need Bond films if they're going to be this mediocre and not exceptional? I think either one, Bond needs to completely reimagine its brand, or needs to bow out somehow. Maybe not straight away just die, but somehow enact some sort of end game. I think the movie does harken back to the old days. There are a lot of Easter eggs for old Bond fans, and as well as a lot of fun for new Bond fans. Bond's a lot funnier, there's a lot more little quips. I think it's a lot more self-aware, but I don't think that's some sort of justification for how substanceless it is. When you can sort of see past the sort of facade, it just becomes a product. And I don't think films should just become products that we passively consume. So overall, it's just really good cinematography, really good music, somewhat good acting. Another thing I should mention is Léa Seydoux's character. I think this film's a bit of a discredit to her acting prowess, and her character, I don't think it was justified enough for her to quote-unquote fall in love with Bond at the end, or at any point really. Just a lot of contradictions, and just very contrived, which is expected in a Bond film, but I don't think it can fly anymore, really. I don't think you can just say it's a Bond film. I think we need to get past these defenses where you can just defend anything because it's a certain brand or a certain product. I think a film needs to be a film. However, I did enjoy this on a very physical, instantaneous sort of level. For the most part, maybe about halfway in, it sort of becomes a bit too much. At a certain point, you can sort of see that it's just pushing the right buttons in you, and you sort of just can can look past the sort of veil and see that it's just a person saying, okay, let's push this button, they'll like that. And obviously Bond fans will enjoy it, so I'd recommend it to them. I would reluctantly recommend it to anyone else. I think if you want a fun night out, you have to consider that, one, it's long, and two, it becomes, by way of its length, it becomes too much. It is good, it is serviceable, it ticks all the right boxes that a Bond film can tick, and it is pleasurable while it lasts, but ultimately there's not much in any of the characters, and especially in Bond's character. I mean, he has no agency as a protagonist, and I think he has a lot of potential as a character. I mean, you don't have to stick to some sort of misogynistic, sexist way anymore. I was not overwhelmed, I was not underwhelmed. I expected to be a lot less satisfied with it. I was just whelmed with it, I suppose. So, yeah, that's my feelings on Spectre. So thank you very much for watching. To keep updated, follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, which I will link down in the description. So yeah, just keep caring about film, TV, arts in general. Think about how you feel and think about how you think about things. So thank you very much. Bye.